Hi everyone, Mark here with The Real, here to review the newly released Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug is the sequel to last year's The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Peter Jackson's return trip to Middle-earth after his highly critically acclaimed Lord of the Rings trilogy, which are some of my favorite movies of all time. So basically, the story is just a continuation, obviously, of An Unexpected Journey. It picks up right where An Unexpected Journey left off, which is pretty much Bilbo, Gandalf, and the 13 dwarves led by their leader, obviously Thorin Oakenshield, are on a trip to go reclaim the dwarves' homeland of Erebor and reclaim their gold from the villain who took it from them, the deadly dragon Smaug. And that's pretty much where the story just leads us to. It's basically our heroes getting into a ton of different predicaments and dangers that they have to get out of, they have to evade, and throughout this journey, many of them gain courage, especially our little hobbit, who at the beginning of the last movie was very timid, but by now has evolved into a very formidable what's the word I'm looking for? Hero, I guess you could say now. And he's also, inside of him, he is also gaining some sort of evil inside of him from none other than the deadly ring that he took from the Goblin Kingdom in the last film. Obviously, if you don't know, I'm sure you do, the ring that he took is the major factor in the film. It's the Lord of the Rings. It's the big MacGuffin, I guess you could say. So, but I don't even know why I'm explaining this because I'm sure you have all seen Lord of the Rings and you all know the story. So yeah, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug was definitely a movie I was looking forward to. Like I said, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, those are some of my favorite movies of all time. Arguably my favorite movie trilogy of all time, period. Either that or the original Star Wars. Just what Peter Jackson did with that whole entire world of Middle-earth, of interpreting J.R.R. Tolkien's world onto the big screen was just incredible and basically flawless, in my opinion at least. But last year's The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, which was his return trip to Middle-earth, was to me a tad disappointing because while the movie was technically well made and good performances were abounded in it, I'm not gonna rail on anything from a technical level or performance level. The movie did feel just like it didn't have the same kind of heart and soul that went into Lord of the Rings. It kind of just sort of felt like Peter Jackson didn't have the same kind of drive to make the movie as he did with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And that is why I'm very happy to report that The Desolation of Smaug is not like that. This feels like Peter Jackson, this time around, really did want to be behind the camera, directing all this, because this movie really does feel like a complete and more confident work than an Unexpected Journey. I really like this movie a lot. There's a lot to go over, so I'm just going to go into what I really liked about it first. And that's basically a lot of the stuff from the first one that I liked was as good, if not more improved here. I thought all the performances were great. I'm really liking Martin Freeman as Bilbo. He brings this kind of... He portrays the timid side of Bilbo very well, but he also portrays the kind of gaining in confidence and also kind of this mysterious side of him also pretty well because of the ring, obviously. It's corrupting his mind, I guess you could say, much like it did in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I think he presents both of those sides of him very well onto the screen. I think he's just overall a very good choice to play Bilbo. He was very good in the first one, and he's very good in this one as well. Ian McKellen is back as Gandalf, and obviously, this guy is just was born to play Gandalf. I think he's just incredible, and he nails it in every single way, shape, or form. There's no denying that he's brilliant in these movies, much like he was in Lord of the Rings. And then we have, I'm not sure I think his name is Richard Armitage, I believe. He plays Thorin Oakenshield, who might be my new favorite character to the Middle-earth universe, I guess you could say. He's not a new character, but to the cinema at least he is. And I think he's a very interesting character, and the way that Richard Armitage plays him is very interesting as well. I think he's very what's the word I'm looking for? You don't know if you can trust his character, I guess you could say, especially in this one. Whereas in an Unexpected Journey, he was a little hard to connect to emotionally. Here, it's a matter of whether you can trust this character or not. You don't know if the greed of the wealth in Erebor is going to corrupt him once he, reclaims his homeland. You don't know if that's going to happen, or you don't know if you can trust him. You don't know if you want to root for him to get this back from the dragon who took it from him. So that presents a nice little catalyst there. So that's nice. And also returning to this universe is Legolas, played by Orlando Bloom. Obviously, one of the fan favorites from Lord of the Rings. Really nice to see him back on screen this time. He's actually given stuff to do. He's not just phoned in here because Legolas is not in the Hobbit novel. So, some fans may have been a bit weary of seeing him back on the screen again. But he's given stuff to do here, and I think there was ample reason to have him return. So, nice to see him back. He did a great job. I had a few definitely badass scenes. And also we had a couple of added characters that were never even mentioned in Tolkien's novels, like, I can't remember her name at the moment. Tariel, yeah, Tariel was her name. This new female elf that's completely conceived from Peter Jackson's mind, played by Evangeline Lilly of Lost fame. She was a good character in my opinion. I think you could argue that she's inconsequential because she is an added character. But for what she's given, I liked her character. And I thought she did a good job. But one thing I did have a problem with, though, is that they did try to shoehorn a romance between her and one of the dwarves into this movie, and that just didn't work for me, because whereas I'm not against romance at all in these types of movies, I thought they worked exceedingly well in the Lord of the Rings films, between, the kind of love triangle that was going on between Aragorn, Arwen, and Eowyn that was going on in the Two Towers and the Return of the King. That worked well there. And here it just feels a little just rushed and shoehorned in, like it doesn't need to be in there. But that's just my opinion, and that's probably one of my flaws with the movie. But overall, I really like the characters in this movie. The actors all portray them very well, and it's nice to see them back on the big screen. One of the things I was really excited to see in this movie was Benedict Cumberbatch as this dragon Smaug, who was by far one of my favorite parts of the novel. And Big Surprise is one of my favorite parts of this movie. I thought he was just fantastic here. He just brings this aura of just terror and this really strange sense of just... I can't really explain it. You have to watch the movie and see for yourself. But he's just a fascinating villain and just so awesome to see on the big screen. It's just a great villain character, and one of my favorites of the year, actually. Like when I'm going to compile my top 10 lists of the year, and when I'm going to think, oh, who's my favorite villain of the year? Yeah, this is definitely top 3 for me for sure. On the whole, as far as characters and battle goes, story works really well in my opinion. There are a few pacing problems here and there. Like it's a long movie, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that, but, even though there was some downtime here and there and scenes that I felt maybe could have been left for the extended edition, nowhere near as bad as An Unexpected Journey in terms of that, like, whereas I thought a good 30 to 40 minutes of An Unexpected Journey could have been saved for the extended edition. Here, I just felt like maybe 5 minutes maybe could have been cut, so, good job Peter Jackson for that. And again, like a lot here is a lot of its effects in this movie were very impressive to look at, much like in An Unexpected Journey. But again, whereas in An Unexpected Journey they overdid it, I think it's a bit more subdued here. There are a few more real sets to look at here, and there is a lot of CGI. But for the most part, I thought it was a bit improved from the first Hobbit film, so that's good. So on the whole, aside from the occasional, pacing problem and, that shoehorned romance that I talked about and the occasional overuse of CGI, this movie did really work for me, and considerably more than An Unexpected Journey. So, I like The Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug, and I'm going to give it an 8.2 out of 10 for my score. So, that was my review of The Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug. Hope you all liked it. Write your comments down below. Tell me what you thought. You can like, you can subscribe, you can share this video, like the reel on Facebook, and I hope you all have a great day. See you later.